All right, Rufus, what did you
All
think
right.
about Alien Earth?
You've announced a special session of Rufus and Alex talk about.
Well, Rufus and Alex
Yeah.
talk about episode 10. We had technical difficulties, and we talked a little bit about Alien
Okay.
Earth, but it probably wasn't meant to be because we lost the audio from it.
Oh,
And
okay.
I had only seen the first episode up to that point.
So we're doing one and two.
So, yeah, so now we're going to do one and two, which
Okay.
actually makes it better.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, before we start there, let me start. What did you first think when you heard that they were making an Alien TV show?
um, well, I consistently worry when they do that kind of thing where it's a TV series attached to a movie series
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to eventually ignore it and pretend it didn't happen,
Yeah,
like RoboCop the series or whatever,
yeah.
where it's like its own thing that's not a part of the main continuity, like Alien versus Predator,
Mm-hmm.
where the Predator movies seem to acknowledge it happened, but the Alien movies don't.
Yeah,
So it's like the Predator movies like the aliens more than the aliens like the
it
Predators.
does. It seems like an awkward relationship because one
Mm,
wants to use the other more, and they're both quality movies as far as the originals. So
yeah. Um, so that was my kind of thought: is like, is it going to be worth investing into this if it's not going to be a long-term part of the series canon?
yeah, I was trepidatious too because I can't think of a great example besides maybe the Sarah Connor Chronicles from like 20 years ago, as far as Terminator, or as far as
Mm,
a movie series with an established action sci-fi movie series being able to go to the small screen, as it were.
mm-hmm.
Even when they're going to Netflix and things like that, like we've seen with a lot of recent Marvel shows, the CGI and stuff isn't there. So immediately when you have an alien movie, it's usually in space, which they immediately
Mm-hmm.
were like, nope, it's going to be Alien Earth. Um, so it means a lot of sets, and it means a lot
Well, it's
of
expensive to shoot in space,
it's
so
it's
I
expensive.
kind
Well,
of
yeah,
get
it's
that.
expensive to shoot in general, but especially I think space is like the California of the universe. Um, but it's even, but then especially you have aliens that are going to appear in it, and it just seems like you're like there's a lot going on there that it could fail at. So
Mm-hmm.
going into it, I was like, I don't know what to expect from this, and I have to say, I've been blown away so far. 2 episodes in, so
All right.
do you want to break it
Um,
down episode by episode, or how do you want to do this?
I mean, I guess we can both give our impressions, like
Okay,
overall.
go ahead. I'll let you go
I
first.
guess we'll retread some stuff we already spoke about to a degree.
Yeah, I spoke about but not recorded, so hey.
Yeah. Um, so it starts out with a scene that's kind of reminiscent of the start of Alien, reminiscent of the start of Alien uh,
The original
Romulus.
Alien,
Yeah.
1979. Yeah,
But yeah, so you've got a spaceship and the computers kind of waking up, and then the people wake up from their pods. They look like extras from the 70s.
yeah.
They're kind of gross looking, like they're all smoking on a spaceship, which is a bad
They're
idea,
all
and
grubby. Yeah, they're kind of.
grubby.
They look like blue collar workers. Yeah.
Hmm. Except they seem to be aware of their mission to pick up aliens. Um,
They seem to be shaken by whatever they've seen. At least some
mhm.
of them. Some of them are treating it
The
very
one guy
one.
has
Well, the
PTSD, but
girl.
everyone else is just like, I really don't like hypersleep.
Well, you can't tell. Are they creeped out by what happened, or are they creeped out by the android with them, Ting or Tang, whatever his name was? Because he seemed to. Everyone
Mhm.
seemed to be disturbed by him.
So he was the guy who was like holding his hand out toward the woman who was
The
like,
bald guy that was creeping everyone out. Yeah, and he
mm,
was when they were sleeping. He's the one watching them, I guess. And he seemed to have it. Those scenes. I don't know if they were there to establish that all of the androids become evil or some that those scenes weren't there for nothing. So I wonder how that's going to come
mm,
back into the series because they really established a lot quickly about these people feeling uneasy about Mr. Ting and even Morrow, who
right,
we find out later is a cyborg or
yeah.
you know.
Um,
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
so one thing I noticed, I think I mentioned this to you before. It's not very important.
Hmm.
They have the Star Wars opening crawl thing, but they do it in alien style, where it's like typing on a terminal with green phosphor or whatever,
Yeah.
and they're like 850 million miles from Earth,
Yeah.
which is Earth distance from Earth to Saturn. But then in other alien movies, they're at like Zeta Reticuli and like other star systems and stuff.
Hmm.
So the time doesn't make sense with like distance, right?
The time doesn't make sense at all. I mean, because I looked, it's been going around on social media. It shows like this is the timeline of the Alien universe, and this movie takes place 2 years before Alien, the first Alien movie, which to me is strange because. I mean, the technology is similar, but it seems like they already knew to get these specimens back, and they were sending people with knowledge of the specimens to get them. So was the Nostromo crew, were they on some deep space mission and they were out for like 5 years? And they were already out? Or, because the timeline doesn't really, as they covered before, it was a species with no record in all the systems and stuff. So this says that they should have had a record of it earlier than this. But
yeah, the timeline stuff is weird with Aliens because they establish that space travel takes a long time. So people go into hypersleep and then they wake up. So I think this was like 60 years in hypersleep or something. And this is only taking place in 21 something.
Yeah.
So they went to sleep like 50 years from now, 60 years
Wait,
from
what
now.
makes you say that? I didn't pick that up from the show.
I thought it said it was like 60 years in hypersleep or something.
That's crazy. I did not expect that. Because especially if it was 60 years, that means we really hit the androids and stuff quickly.
Yeah, well, I thought in, what was it, Prometheus, that's in the relatively short, distant future.
Prometheus is it's like 60 years from now, 50 or 60 years. And then Covenant is like 20 years after that.
Right.
And then Alien
so this is after
next,
Covenant.
This is after Covenant, and then supposedly 2 years before Alien. I don't know, again, like the timeline's a mess. Of course, they didn't plan these things out, but when people like us are going to be nerds and watching it, of course we're going to poke the holes.
Yeah, there are people with more time than us, but similar inclinations.
Well, yeah. Well, you figure those people would be the ones writing the thing also. But
well, that's something like... So I'm a Star Trek fan, right? And the fans are way more into the continuity and keeping track of all the minutia than the people who make the shows are.
Well,
so
fair point, but by now the people making the show should be the fans because it's been out for so long. So it's not all of them. I'm sure it filters through, and it's hard to get the job of a show you really care about, but or a proper.
Yeah, to some degree. So. I think there's an element of people who want to just tell a good story, and they're like, okay, this is the backdrop I've been given. So like J.J. Abrams made a terrible Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
And that was all Star Trek was for like 10 years, was these terrible J.J.
really
movies.
Awkward, yeah. Movies with
and he did that to kind of Star Wars too, and there's like, he didn't understand the source material and just like wanted to make the same thing but with better special effects.
His J.J. Abrams cookie cutter movies, so.
Yeah. So I can kind of see that happening. I don't think there's like... It doesn't seem like there's an overall boss of the Alien universe right now. Because for a while it was... What's-his-face who made Prometheus
Ridley Scott.
Alien. Yeah, Ridley Scott. And it seems like they took the reins away from him again. And now we're back in... other creators can kind of take it on and try and tell stories in that world.
Which is fun. I mean, I think it's for the better because we're not getting caught up with a lot of the... We're not getting so far in the history of what made the aliens tick and stuff that people are getting bored by it. Like, we don't need to see the origins of who made the aliens and stuff. But this is a cool story because it's putting us in a place we haven't been before. Where the aliens...
Except now we have 2 movies leading nowhere.
Yeah, those... Yeah, that was, I mean, they made money at least for someone, but... but the fans certainly didn't love them. But
no,
yeah, I'm glad to see the series could pivot from that. Even after Romulus last year, which was a strange step, I'm glad to see they could pivot here because this has been.
Romulus wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad. I just didn't like the. I mean, I really hope that if they do another one, they could ignore all the member berries parts and stop the quotes from the original movie or here's a gun from the original movie and all that stuff. Let's just make your own Alien movie.
Well, that was the thing with it was very heavily doing, hey, remember this thing?
Which is the same thing that, people got on The Force Awakens for, and but it bothered me more in Alien Romulus because I had a lot of hope for the movie, and it has a lot of great scenes and great visuals, and, they're taking the they're taking the cooling units out, and they don't realize they're basically releasing facehuggers into the room they're in, and the android turns evil. But then the minute you have Ian Holm, like CGI Ian Holm, it's like, ooh, why didn't you just have a different robot? You could have, because especially if it's going to be Bishop and then Rook and Ash, why not just have a different person? Why do you have to have the CGI? Plus the CGI, it's got that what's it called? Uncanny Valley. So this movie that's great visually, all of a sudden now you're like looking at a cartoon for large portions of it. And it's a cartoon of someone who died already. So that's
creepy,
weird. Yeah. It's just, I know his family was like, okay, we're happy he's getting a payday or whatever, because he was ignored when he was 90 in the acting world. But that was just strange to me. It took me out of the movie. That was where immediately I was like, ooh, this is not, something's wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, there's parts I liked to it and parts that I felt were too nostalgia-y, and I don't think I liked any of the actual characters in the movie.
The robot saying, get away from you. The synthetic was really interesting. Yeah, I loved him, but I didn't like him saying, "Get away from her, you bitch," with a stutter.
Like that was stuff that was kind of like imposed on them. Is like we're gonna hit these notes that remind people they're watching a movie based on other movies that they used to like.
That they're here because they like it. So, but I did like the Android.
I came to see a movie where someone says, "Get away from her,"
bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that. Again, that makes me happy, right?
I liked that he was fragile and kind of pushed around, and then all of a sudden he got this upgrade, and he was just a totally different. And he acted it well too. It was very Clark Kent and Superman, where all of a sudden this guy who looked the same is completely different people. So, props to that actor. Otherwise, like you said, the rest of the cast was no care at all.
They just weren't interesting to me.
Yeah.
Generic early 20s.
Yeah.
People, I guess.
And now also another qualm I have, if we're going to talk about Romulus, that they've apparently confirmed that Ripley's escape pod was there, like they had it at the Romulus space station. And then in the climax, when they were trying to avoid the crash into the orbit of the Starfield or whatever. That you can see her escape pod spinning off. They actually froze it and and it's like, well, did you? It was bad enough that they went and grabbed the actual alien from Alien. Not that they went and got another alien from anywhere else in the universe. That they got the actual one from Alien. Fine, that's bad enough. But now they had to grab her ship too. And then after that, they didn't even let her go. They just let it sit there and just because that's true. The company wouldn't care, but still.
It's a little bit. You want new stuff in the same universe, which is, I think, something we've talked about before. Is like, at least with the new series, they're trying to bring in new kinds of alien.
Yeah,
like there's a couple new species.
Yeah,
and they're all like weird body horror things that attack humans specifically or parasitize humans. Doesn't make any sense biologically, but neither does the xenomorph, so whatever.
Yeah.
But at least they're, like, trying to think up some new stuff. None of it seems as creative to me as the xenomorph, but they're trying something new, right?
Well, okay, now I'll let you continue before we get into the next part. I was going to talk about the different aliens in the new series, because now we're just going to skip around. We don't need to cover the episodes in order, but...
Well, I mean, we can go back and forth between talking about a subject and then go back to the linear.
Well, I mean, I'm fast. I like that they've introduced new aliens, but the rules in this series are very weird. Because in episode 2, they have Timothy Olyphant and his group of children androids. They're exploring the ship. They come across the plant thing that's hanging, and it doesn't seem to be interested in harming them necessarily, but it does seem curious in the synthetics. And then you go in the other room and you have the eyeball inside the cat, and it seems very aggressive towards the synthetics. And whatever the other item was, I'm going blank now, but there was another alien thing that was just...
Well, there's the tick.
There's the tick, the ticks that bite them. So it's like, are well the ticks. I guess they went after the humans, but they also
And
seem
then there's like
interested in the synthetics too.
centipede thing.
So I don't know. So the rules had always been that the aliens don't care about, like, they didn't care about Bishop
Mm-hmm.
crawling across the station to fly the ship and stuff because he's a synthetic. They can't even like smell him. Basically, he's of no use to them. So, are some aliens just aggressive to synthetics? Are synthetics human enough that the aliens are interested in them? I didn't, you know.
Well, if all you are were an eyeball with tentacles,
Mm-hmm.
you'd probably be pretty visually oriented,
Yeah.
and they look like they're human.
So okay, so you can't. Okay, I guess so. He can't tell the difference based off that. Fair enough.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know a lot about how, like the life cycle of these other organisms work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we assume they're all from the same hell planet or similar.
Or they could be different planets.
How many stops did this group of assholes make, though? They looked like they couldn't even tie their shoes. The people on the ship that got mauled. So
yeah, so I don't know the extent to which any of this will be explained.
yeah, no, exactly. There's a lot of questions that they're leaving, which is nice, but
which is fine. It's fine.
Which is fine. Yeah, we don't need everything answered. That's the part that makes people wonder, and it's interesting. But
yeah, I mean that's something I complain about sometimes is when stuff is over-explained.
Mm-hmm.
But so I think we should say the opening crawl again. They're talking about how there's like 3 approaches to immortality,
and there's 3 factions at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
There's Weyland-Yutani. There's the
Prodigy,
which is the Neverland people, and then who else? What's the third? Is there a third one?
AOL.
AOL.
And CompuServe.
I forgot. I thought there was a third. But you do have to wonder because in the universe they've established Weyland-Yutani is the answer. So you wonder, is this show going to show the downfall of Prodigy? Because Prodigy's isolated to this island or whatnot, and if they have the alien outbreak there, that again that nobody else on Earth finds out about, is it basically this island gets wiped out by this crap, and that's the end of Prodigy.
In previous movies, it kind of always felt like space is controlled by corporations,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't really show Earth.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the rules on Earth are.
True.
And this is very explicit. Well, there's 5 companies. They're all huge, and they control parts of Earth.
Okay, makes sense.
Which is like it was part of the text of the other films. These companies are very powerful and dystopian and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was ever that explicit, like what the political situation on Earth was.
Yeah. And here it seems like, it basically seems like companies own the area because Weyland-Yutani is bargaining with, the CEO of Prodigy about coming onto his island to retrieve, the spaceship that crashed. It's interesting. You're not going through a government. You're going through this, the trillionaire kid.
Yeah, but then he also talks about lawyers will work it out.
He
or
does
whatever.
say, there's some mentioning of that, like they kind of just glance over it, but she also said that she's ready to send her team, which you assume is just going to happen in the next episode or 2. They're just going to show up.
Well, you assume if there's lawyers, there's some kind of law, like external to the companies that they both have to abide by.
Yeah.
So there has to be some kind of like third-party governmental structure that they agree to adhere to, at least to some extent.
All right, well, let's get into let's get into an interesting part that I know bothered both of us, or not bothered, but we were curious about the behavior of the xenomorph in because from what I could tell, there's only one right now. One adult xenomorph in the show. Are you putting on a costume? What is this?
It looks I'm moonwalking like the xenomorph past the...
I didn't know what to think about that. But there's only one. Morrow, the android, is hunting it down because obviously he's trying to contain the outbreak for the company. It seems.
But he's a cyborg.
He's just a cyborg company guy.
So he's human with robot parts.
That's what I'm saying. He's been upgraded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's another thing I actually wanted to ask you. There's synths, which are robots that have humans downloaded into them. There's androids, which are just androids, which are just robots. And then there's cyborgs, which are humans that have been upgraded.
So synths are the ones that are just robots. There are cyborgs, which are humans that have had robot parts added. And then there are hybrids, which are synth bodies with human minds uploaded to them.
But I thought synth bodies without human minds are just androids.
No, they're synths.
We might have to check this on the Wikipedia after the show.
Because I think they called the guy in the first movie a synth.
Who, Ash?
Yeah.
No, they called him an android.
Okay.
Well, no, at least Yaphet Kotto, when they break his head off, he goes, Ash is a goddamn robot.
Right.
So
which I think is, like, kind of synonymous,
and
right?
then in the second movie, they say, there's always a synthetic on board. So you're correct there. In Aliens, he says, I prefer artificial person myself. But they don't they also don't differentiate, though, because, again, I don't know if Ash is meant to be straight robot, and then Bishop is a robot that had Charles Bishop Whalen's head or brain downloaded into it. We don't know that for a fact. So let's let the show play out a little bit. It's interesting that there's so many delineations of robot, especially now that there's one that's basically the T-1000. He can have a knife come out of his hand. He can have a flamethrower come out of his hand. So, but he's
which is like a different level of technology than we've seen previously.
Much
in
different
the
than
Alien,
we've seen. Yeah, it's kind of like how the
movies.
It's kind of like how in Terminator 3 the TX came out and she was more upgraded. And why didn't they just send her to begin with? But regardless, all the people that died on the what's the name of the ship again? I'm sorry. Doesn't matter. The ship that crashed.
Yeah, it's an M word.
It's an M word, and it's an old school name. I forget the name of it. But after, basically, Morrow is the only one that it seems Weyland-Yutani gives a shit about because he doesn't seem to care that he let the other person die because I assumed that if he risked letting her in, she could have compromised him getting into the security pod. I don't know what the reasoning was. Maybe we'll find that out.
Well, he knew she was going to be dead anyway, right?
He does seem kind of ambiguous. Like, I can't tell if he's a good character, bad, indifferent. Is there a good or a bad to someone like that? You know?
I mean, we don't know exactly. I think at this point he seems to understand the xenomorph's behavior well enough to be like, no, you're dead.
Yeah.
I'm going to, like, weld shut the door so that I can get into my pod and survive, maybe.
Well, he knows the behavior and he knows the risk involved.
And he has that electro gun that like can
shocks it.
That shocks it. We have not seen any weapon so far that can do that in the Alien franchise.
I was fascinated.
And
oh, go ahead.
This is before the Nostromo. They already have weapons that can like knock them out.
Yeah. Although again, this is Weyland-Yutani with someone that they armed to do this, so they gave him, the ability. Whereas on the Nostromo, they were kind of just sending them to death.
Yeah, they were just like, well, you happen to be by, retrieve it for us.
Yeah.
Because they really want to study one of these.
I was fascinated by the fact that he shoots the alien with that laser, or the electric gun, the taser, and it knocks the alien out, or, it incapacitates it, which is, that thing's like a cow. And then the human, he shoots it with the same thing, and the human's like, I'm going to fall asleep now. That should have killed him. That should have definitely stopped his heart, like, right there. If it incapacitated an alien, that's killing you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, the xenomorphs are incredibly tough, right?
From what I understand, their outsides are tough. They're meant to serve. I mean, clearly that other one in Romulus survived in space. So they don't really care about environment. They don't.
They talk about them being armored.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're biomechanical or something, like...
So whatever pierced it to electrocute it probably would have left a hole in a human being, basically, is my theory.
It would have exploded him.
Yeah, done something. So that was just, whatever. It's just nitpicking like a nerd.
Like an egg in a microwave.
I like the videos where someone convinces someone to do that.
I convinced myself to do that once.
Oh, well, how old were you, though?
I was in middle school.
That's a reasonable age. That's a reasonable age to do something.
I was trying to make egg salad, and I was like, why am I going to mess around with this oven, like, with a range? I can do this so much faster in the microwave. I'm so smart. I got this figured out. I took a bowl and I put water in the bowl and I put
Yeah.
2 eggs in the water. I'm like, this will boil and I'll make hard-boiled eggs and I can make egg salad. It blew the door
I
off the
was gonna say
microwave.
that's the force of those explosions is ridiculous coming off of eggs.
This sent egg all over the kitchen.
Yeah.
I think there was still some there years later.
Yeah. I was
Um,
I was probably 6 or 7 when I put tinfoil in the microwave, and that scared the shit out of me because I'd
mhm.
never seen fire up close until that, and it went up immediately. It was one of those old school microwaves, and it burnt it. I think we had to get a new one after that.
Uh-oh.
Um, quick,
Yeah.
quick,
Um,
quick aside. Speaking of microwaves, I probably told you this story, but for the viewers out there, where we went to college, there was a school for the deaf that was attached, and it had a very a very tall dormitory. And because the students that were deaf in that dormitory were, because the students were deaf in that, because the students in that dormitory were deaf, for any type of alarm or something like that, it had to be strobes. So, for instance, the fire alarm was strobes. So, what a different university would do, University of Rochester, I think it was some frat once a year would come by and they would put popcorn in like the top. They would put popcorn in the top floor's microwave and set it for like a half hour and walk away, and then you could see the strobes from like you could see the strobes from across Rochester because the and I it was kind of fucked up but funny.
I
Anyway,
didn't
back to
realize that was like a deliberate thing. I thought that was just people not realizing
that
their
might have.
popcorn
I
was done.
mean, I'm not going to continue because I don't want to offend any people that are hard of hearing.
Hmm.
But yes, that was a regular thing in college, regardless of hearing status. People burning micro. I
Yeah.
remember in the middle of the night, we'd have to go outside because someone set off the fire alarm.
Yeah, and in
Um,
Rochester in like January, that's a
yeah,
serious
it's a
like
serious offense. Yeah,
a thing to go have to go outside.
I think during finals week, first year during finals week, the last during May, so it was everyone was burnt out. I went and got popcorn. It was my Monday of finals week. I went and made popcorn, and something I think it was a bag from the beginning. Whatever the fuck was wrong with the bag was dried out. I take it out of the thing, it's smoking. And if you I don't know if you remember the dorms at RIT, but it's not like
Hmm.
you had nowhere to go. So the bag's smoking, so I ran back to my dorm room with it, and the bag is now starting to like little sparks. And we're like, what are we gonna fucking do? So we opened the window and I threw it into the quad, and now this like
Hmm.
flaming bag of popcorn's down in the quad. Closed the window, hope no one saw it. Because I was still gun shy earlier that year in December when there was the first snowfall. We were being my other roommate. He well, not we. He was saying most of it. I don't remember actually saying anything besides giggling at it, but he was yelling things down about Christianity and like trying to offend people and down
Hmm.
below in the parking lot. And a cop saw him or one of the one of the security officers, and then he came and knocked on the door, and it was the creepiest thing because like he knew which dorm we were in because we had the top corner. Um,
Hmm.
and I was like, "That's weird, man." Then he came right over, scared the shit out of me. I was like, I didn't like that at all." Sorry, just a quick little aside about college.
Yeah, I mean, I was not a fan of the dorm life.
No, it was a nightmare.
Um,
Not
you
a
can't
fan.
just talk. You can't. You're put living with people you don't choose.
Yeah,
Is the bottom line. And for a lot of people, when you're 18, this is the first time you've ever lived with people who aren't your family.
yeah,
So it just leads to a lot of awkward and unpleasant, like
yeah.
hard lessons about how to live with people.
A lot of hard to dissect or hard to digest lessons. Or I
Hmm.
remember there were multiple people getting fights and stuff, or
Yeah.
like literally, it's like this is your college. You figure you'd want to have like a nice, calm, like welcoming experience in like your room where you stay at night. You don't feel comfortable. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, just not. It
Yeah.
wasn't fun.
And like my sleep schedule, like I had 8 a.m. class, and
Mm.
like people would stay outside in the hall talking like till like 2 in the morning.
And it was I remember that. And it was
Yeah.
you had one door between you and the world. You
And
know,
yeah, it was like super thin.
light was always coming
Um,
through the door because the lights didn't
uh
go off in the hallway. At least in my dorm when I was there. So it was 24/7. There was light coming in the room, some form or another. So
So I have an idea, Alex.
oh my god, let's form our own
Let's
college.
let's get the like most volatile age of people, like when they're most like hormonal and
Long, small,
angry and
confined
like
space.
smelly and like don't know how to live on it. Or we'll just put them all together in one tiny building. They have to live in these like little cubicles.
Yeah,
It'll be fine. It'll be
yeah.
fun, right? Yeah.
I mean, I think then they're all from different areas too, and different backgrounds,
Mhm.
and different families, and they're studying different things too. So when one's going to class for calculus, the other one's going to class for art, and learning how to
Mhm.
paint. So there's total cohesiveness there.
Well, I mean, in theory, that's good because you're meeting people who are different than you.
Oh, absolutely. But
But
I just think it leads to led to some
yeah,
issues in college with people because then you're trying to do one thing and they need to be in their space. It's just I don't miss roommates are one thing or housemates, but having someone in your room with you and especially with no other place to go because you're kind of trapped in a dorm. Especially when we
right.
were there, they were overbooking so much. They did the lounge areas became dorm rooms. So
Hmm.
to go get your own space, you'd have to like go to the library or something.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Well, back to Alien.
Back to Alien. So okay, let me look at one of the other notes we were talking about. So the kids.
Hmm.
What's the story
This
with
this this is the other thing is there's on Earth the boy
the boy genius, the boy wonder, the boy
genius.
billionaire genius wonder?
His
Who
actual name is Boy something,
he does?
but
Is it really?
yeah,
Oh wow.
um,
I thought they
Boy
just kept
something.
calling him Boy Genius was coming to save us, but he doesn't wear shoes,
But
so that
he
disturbed me.
doesn't wear shoes. He thinks he's Peter Pan. He has a Peter Pan complex, and
Yeah.
he's like his path to immortality is to upload the brains of people to robot
Mm-hmm.
bodies. Right.
Yeah. I mean that seems to be it. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm, okay.
I mean, and or I mean, he explicitly states really what he wants is to finally meet someone that's more intelligent than him or more whatever. So
Okay.
that
Yeah.
almost seems like a direct like, ooh, this guy's going to be interested in the engineers.
Yeah. That
It,
made me mad. Like this guy is like too obnoxious to like be in a. He reminds me of me in like college.
yeah.
Like just obnoxious to the
Well, I liked that
maximum.
you couldn't tell at first if him and that lady had a good relationship or a symbiotic. They're both getting the same plan, but then he really puts her in her place when he's like, "Well, I'm looking to finally have a conversation with someone that's interesting," and she's
Hmm.
sitting there like, "Ooh, yeah." Um, I have a feeling that's going to be like the boys, where she ends up getting killed or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Um, but no, the
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, no, I mean it's implied that his company is new,
Mm-hmm.
like a newer on the scene than the other companies. So he's had like must be a very rapid rise in power. So he's like the modern version of like Zuckerberg
Exactly. Yeah, they're
becoming a
painting him in a
billionaire overnight.
they're painting him in a Zuckerberg type way, especially because he's the world's newest or first trillionaire, and it doesn't and it
Hmm.
looks like he's still dressing in pajamas and stuff, so he's giving off that super youthful vibe. So yeah, he clearly just he's early, he's new in the game, and you wonder if he's going to get wiped out quickly too, because again, as we've seen in the universe, we don't know if Weyland Yutani is just like the Walmart of the universe, but it does seem like they wouldn't like competition. Um, so, but the boy genius, he's successful in getting these synth bodies, and I guess the only test subjects he has outside of once he's probably done with monkeys and rats and stuff. He's like, hey, let me find some terminally ill people.
Well, they explain that they can't do it to adult brains.
Oh, really? Okay, I missed that.
Um, yeah, so they kind of she when Wendy, which is one of the kids, is
Wendy's
explaining
basically
to
the
the other
lead of the
kids.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, she's saying, "Well, we can't do it to adults because their minds are too stiff and they won't fit in the new bodies."
Mm-hmm.
So she's kind of explaining it as like it has to be kids, so
Yeah.
that's why they're experimenting on children.
True. But that also leaves room for play, though, because it's not a definitive thing. It's like, oh, their heads are too rigid. But
Hmm.
what does that really mean? Like,
It doesn't mean
so
anything.
it doesn't mean
Like
anything. So
they'll experiment with the technology, and Boy Wonder will put his brain into a robot.
yeah,
He'll make a Kane bot from RoboCop and come.
And he'll be the first engineer, basically. So.
Yeah, and he'll be like, "Nuke, I need nuke."
I love saying nuke in the video game, and whenever I come across it, nuke again.
Or you could do a George W. Nuke.
Nuclear. He was a fun young man, that George W. So let's leave him alone.
So, yeah. So there's the girl is like terminally ill.
Mm-hmm.
She's implied to have some kind of cancer, which they haven't figured out how to cure that far in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to die, so they're uploading her to a robot body.
Mm-hmm. And then she's the success case.
Mm-hmm.
So they roll out a whole bunch of other lost boys, much like in Neverland and whatnot. But like you mentioned the other day, the kids are like, there's a lot of them acting like kids. Mm-hmm. And they're all around, I think, 10, 11, 12. They're in that range, I believe they're supposed to be. Or that's what at least the couple on screen, like the Indian boy on screen that's friends with her. I believe he's 10 or 11, and he says she's turning 12. Yeah. Wendy has, even though she still has some precociousness and stuff, she's mature. Or more mature. Everyone else seems like they're acting 5 years old. Because when you were 10 or 11, you were trying to act older at that point. You weren't running around painting crayons on the wall. Like, you were like trying to act like an adult. You were pretending.
I mean, I definitely remember like moments in middle school. Like, I don't have full like eidetic memory of middle school or whatever. But
sure.
I think that is when you start like figuring out what adulthood means, and like to an extent you might try to start being more serious, I guess.
I mean, that coupled with...
You'll all have a lot of moments of childishness.
Of course.
And this is all childishness. Right?
Well, it's all child... Like, literally, they're there for 2 seconds, and one girl's... She's making a paper airplane. The two guys are slap fighting and stuff. It's like, I don't remember that happening. Like, if you were in class, you wouldn't just all of a sudden start slap fighting if the teacher was, like, talking directly to you. So they're overplaying the whole kid aspect. And what I was going to involve... These are also kids that are, unfortunately, that they were sick. And that matures a kid, too. Like, so maybe it's some kind of, like, repressed childhood thing where they didn't get to act like children. But I don't know. To me, it seems like they're overly acting like children, especially the contrast to Wendy, who, even though she's acting like a teenager, like, she's like, oh, I told you a secret, be quiet. She's not, like, running around twirling her hair. And it's really, something's off, It's just...
I mean, I guess if you told, like, actors are actors, right? So if you tell them act like you're a child in an adult's body, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Right. So this is like an acting exercise that they're bringing to life.
True. It's like an improv. Yeah, it's like an improv game. I do think that she's
just...
Oh, go ahead.
There's a little bit much of it for my taste.
It's a little distracting, I think, and I don't know if it's going to play into something that... It almost seems guaranteed that them not being able to be mature is going to lead to an alien outbreak or not containing... It seems like they're setting that up for something, especially because Timothy Oliphant's character, I don't know his name, the white-haired, the guy that looks like he's from Blade Runner, he's mentioned like twice now, you're not animals, don't show fear. He's had a couple lines where it's like, oh, he doesn't quite approve of how they're progressing. He's already said he didn't think they were ready for the field and all that stuff. But and the flip side of that, like the reason that Wendy stands out, or her actress or whatnot, she's doing a lot of acting with her eyes, and she's not swinging her arms around to show that she's youthful. She's letting her eyes dart around and stuff, and the way that she's approaching when her brother's holding the baseball and saying, "Well, I talked to my dad," and she goes, "Oh, you talked to Dad?" Like, it comes across very genuine, whereas the other kids, it comes across very fake to me. So
there's a couple scenes where she's like playing it up. Like when she's in her room alone and she's like swinging her arms back like a kid,
Again,
or like dancing in place.
but those I don't count
Um,
as much as when she's in person and when or when she's in public rather, or trying to
yeah.
be on a mission
Um,
and stuff. So.
well, there's definitely like a couple scenes where she's trying to be the leader,
Hmm.
um, which I guess is mirroring Peter Pan again to some
Sure.
extent. Um,
I like that she took the
so
guillotine off and just stuck it to her back. I guess she's magnetic. That's pretty cool.
yeah, I guess. Well, she took the like paper cutter off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
As,
guillotine from the paper cutter. It's like they didn't have real weapons for them. All right.
well, no, I mean that's just like the way a kid would prepare to go on a mission. Is like
Yeah,
you bring your stuffed animal and
but
your weapon, and
nobody saw that and said, "Well, no, let's get you something real. Let's you don't need the paper cutter." It was just funny
well,
to
she
me.
changes into like a uniform later, right?
I thought she was wearing the uniform as far as I can remember for the entire second
Well,
episode.
like
Yeah.
so that's she sticks that to her back, and then she goes and tells the other kids, "Okay,
Yeah.
we've got a mission. We're going into the field."
Yeah.
And they cut to they're all in like these blue jumpsuits.
Oh, I
and
thought
they're
she was already.
flying
I
there,
thought she was
so-
already wearing that. I'm
No.
sorry. Okay, my bad.
So
Okay.
she didn't actually bring that with her.
Gotcha.
At some point, someone was like,
No, but
you're not."
yeah,
you're
no.
not
Well,
bringing that
yeah,
with you."
we'll give you a real weapon because that thing. I mean, I'm sure I know it's sharp, but you're not going to get much damage done with that young lady.
You could hurt yourself.
You hurt yourself, it'll fall off and hurt someone else. We don't need that. It's not
Yeah.
safe.
Um,
All right, cool.
so here's a point I was thinking. So if this is Peter Pan,
Mhm.
I think maybe. So we were talking about the guy who was like the cyborg.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking he's missing a hand. It's a robot hand. So maybe he's Captain Hook.
He's supposed to be Captain Hook.
And then
yeah.
the crocodile is the xenomorph.
Okay. So like he lost his hand to the xenomorph somehow?
Maybe, or maybe it's just meant to be like he has a vendetta against the xenomorph. Or
Interesting.
something.
I'm wondering whether I mean because clearly they care about his character and
Mm-hmm.
that shows that he's more android than human because the xenomorph kills those other humans and completely leaves him alone. Even though he's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
one
we-
shown to be antagonistic toward it. So it would know that this is the one that trapped me.
Well, this is getting back to like the weird behavior of the xenomorphs.
Doesn't make
in
any
this.
sense. Well, also,
Um,
there's just one xenomorph as far as we can tell, I think, right?
Yeah, I
moment.
think it's one so far,
It's just one.
which is enough.
But he's
Um,
acting. It's enough to wipe out a lot. But like you said, it's killing everything.
mhm.
It's not making any attempt to grab anything to cocoon or to prepare for a queen or to turn into an egg like they did in the first movie. It's just literally like it's just crushing like it hit that one guy in
Well-
the face with its mini mouth and just destroyed his skull.
We saw like some eggs, right?
There's some eggs, yeah.
Face hugger eggs.
Yeah.
Xenomorph behavior just doesn't make sense in general. Like if you let them loose on Earth with no other like protection or
Yeah,
whatever,
no natural predator
um,
either, yeah.
nothing to stop them.
Yeah.
You would wipe out humanity, and they would have no means of reproduction.
Hmm.
Right. So it's not like their life cycle makes sense to begin with, or their behavior. Like you wouldn't normally want to just kill for the sake of killing the species you need to incubate more
Yeah.
of yourself.
You would harvest and stuff, or you would only kill a couple, or you would kill for food only. There's
Yeah,
reasons,
or-
and they've never really had that. So
Yeah, there's no reason in Alien why the alien kills people. Like if it needs human hosts to incubate more aliens.
I liked it better in the director's cut where they show that he's just turning them into eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
you see Brett at the. I don't know if you knew. Yeah, you apparently didn't. It's on YouTube. The deleted scenes. But basically, as Ripley's escaping the ship, she's going through some bowels or some secret hive, and she comes upon the alien's hive, and you see Brett 90% turned into an egg, and then you see Dallas like 50% turned into an egg, and he's still alive, and he's like, "Please kill me." So she lights them on fire to kill them because he's being like transmutated into an egg. And there's been speculation that when a queen is not around, a alien drone can do that. He can put his goo on something. I don't know. The lore of this has been so screwed up for years. But that was the original idea for how there were eggs. Although how there would be that many eggs they showed in the first movie from aliens just regurgitating, I don't know how that works. But
So anyway, it's killing people for no real reason.
No reason at all. As far as we can tell, it's not even eating them. It's not gathering them and taking them back for food for a nest. It's just leaving the bodies.
No, and then the guy is about to get face-huggered, and then the alien, like, swoops him off.
Yeah.
Like it's been stalking him or whatever, and it's like, no, I don't want you to be a host.
Well, it's strange. Also, the alien that we've seen so far is stalking people. It's being very deliberate. I guess it knows it's alone, so it's outnumbered. But you see it especially that they're doing this because it's a TV show, so they're saving on CGI. So it's been in the background. A lot of the deaths have been off screen. But even when you see the rescue team walking, like you see it moving in the background. So it's in the area, but it's not just openly attacking 3 people. So it's probably still maybe young, curious. But the fact that the minute a human walks into that weird containment field over the eggs and sets it off, for an alien to attack at that point, they would just sit there and let the facehugger attack. They wouldn't stop that from happening unless if we're going to get to the point where we find out those eggs are manufactured. Those eggs aren't real. Those are Weyland Yutani made. I don't know. Maybe those are David eggs or something. I don't know.
God.
There's a lot to go within the series, which is exciting. There's a lot of different directions, so I'm excited to see where they go. But
so that kind of gets to like something I'm feeling it's suffering from being a TV series, which is pacing. So like in the movies, you can build tension and build tension and build tension, and like someone dies, and then the survivors are in an even worse situation, and they have to like get across a corridor or go do a thing and whatever, and the more people get picked off, and you can have just a series of tense situations after tense situation.
Yeah.
And this, you'll have like a tense situation and then cut to 15 minutes of exposition about Wendy, and then cut back to tense situation. And
they're
not
juggling
building tension.
They're juggling a lot of storylines. Yeah.
Yeah. So there hasn't been any like scene yet where I've been like tense, worried about what's going to happen, in the way like in a typical alien movie you would be like looking behind people to see if it's in the corner or like you know what I mean.
Absolutely. And plus they've established, I think, certain characters. I think Wendy and her brother pretty much have plot armor. Yeah. And they're the only people that have really been established. At least for a while. But they're the only people, if I say people because Wendy's, we don't know what she is, they're the only people that have really been established besides Timothy Olyphant's character. And he's an android. So it feels like a lot of the other androids / synths are just there to be bodies or, deaths or whatever, even though they're not necessarily human. But like you said, there's no, like when he got knocked out of the window at the end of the episode, it's like it's gonna be a cliffhanger for that's how every episode's gonna end. Oh man, it's a cliffhanger. Which, if you look at this in the grand scheme of a movie, it's like a 10-hour movie with like 10 cliffhangers. Then,
so one thing that like I had a hard time with is they seem to keep going back and forth between they're on the ship versus they're in the
building that's falling apart or whatever.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard for me to like know where they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Like, at one point, they, like, went back to the tower, and they start evacuating people again, and there's the guy at the party. And then they're back on the ship again.
Well...
Or, like, they're like, moving back and forth or something.
What's the brother's name? Rooster or Hunter? What is it?
I don't remember.
I don't know. It's Rat or something silly like that. It's some rodent, I believe. He's, like, he got attacked by an alien. He's, like, bleeding. He's knocked unconscious. Like, he's... And then all of a sudden, like, one guy finds him, and he's like, okay, let's just start knocking on doors again. It's like, no, you need to contact command and say there's like a 9-foot, like, ant-looking creature walking around that can kill everyone. Like, he just goes back to his job, like, oh, yeah, cool, let's knock on doors again.
Well, I think he did, like, try to call it in, right?
He called it in on the elevator, yes. But then, as soon as the other, the other Marine or whatever finds him, he's like, okay, back to work. Not like, hey,
Yeah.
we need to get the hell out of here. So
So that was something I mentioned on the unrecorded thing before, as that I thought was weird. Is like they're the first responders, right? They're search and rescue.
Mhm.
He is the only one on that team who seems to have anything to do with search and rescue. Everyone else just has a gun.
just has
And they're
guns.
like space marines for some reason.
This weaponry.
Like in a if an airplane like crashed into a building, as you know, it wouldn't be like Marines you're sending in with guns out. You'd be like sending firefighters and EMTs and
Yeah.
like. So that was weird.
It's like, well, it's not even that. It's, as far as we can tell, it's infinite to one as far as number of Marines to medic, because he's the only medic we see, and and like I mentioned in the last episode that was not recorded, when he gets to the site of all the people, he's just saying, "Okay, stand over there. More medics are coming." So he's not even actually being a medic at that time. He's just being a project or program manager or something. So
yeah, we don't actually see him treat anyone. I don't think
he treats himself.
Okay.
When he has the cut, he bites off like the band-aid or bandage and does it on his own arm. That's the only thing I really think we see him do. So that's okay.
We saw him like mark someone as dead, like he put a piece of reflective tape or something.
It's not. I mean, again, it's. But again, he's not. Yeah. So it's. But he has plot armor. So him getting knocked out of the window, I have no interest. Like it's like, oh, I'm excited to see what happens, but I'm not too concerned.
Cut to the next episode, he's just dead.
Well, it's either he's that, or they're either gonna spend the whole episode tracking him down, or she's gonna find him immediately. And it's like, well, it's, whatever. Is it still gonna be 2 episodes a week going forward, or is it just 1 episode a week?
I don't know.
I have to look that up. I'm curious because I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, there's a couple TV shows going on now that I've been following.
Well, Peacemaker is starting this week, I think.
Peacemaker is soon. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is out.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not into Star Trek.
I like Star Trek. I just haven't stayed up with it. I mean,
Yeah.
Star Trek: First Contact's one of my favorite movies of all time. But I just all the TV shows and I saw the J.J. Abrams first Star Trek movie. I just didn't like it, and I've just kind of tuned out. Same thing with Star Wars. I've just kind of tuned out of Star Wars lately.
Yeah. There's like a mix of good and bad in the new Star Trek stuff.
Sure.
So it's just like, if you want to keep up with it, you're going to have to slog through some stuff that's not very good in order to be up to date.
I know one of the podcasts I follow has mentioned that there's like more Star Trek on now than had been in like all of history, or maybe not now, maybe like 2 years ago. Whenever there was like 10 shows on at once, it's like it was more than had been in the accumulation of all Star Trek before that.
Well, they had a few shows going. Half of them were really good.
Yeah. That's better than most TV shows can say.
Yeah. I mean, some of them I'm not a fan of, but they were doing okay for a while.
Yeah.
So what did it turn out? I thought you were looking up how many times per week Alien is coming out.
Oh no, sorry. I my keyboard actually I can't access it right now because my camera's on top of my laptop. So.
I can search.
Look at my phone real quick. Alien Earth release schedule. It was either that or Peacemaker that I saw had a staggered schedule where it was like 2 and then 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
1 episode per week.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so we got 2 to start and then it's 1 per week, which is fine.
I wonder if they felt like the first episode was just not strong enough on its own.
It definitely got me engaged, but typically that is something they do with TV shows. Historic, at least I remember back in the day when they had a launch of a show, they would have an hour-long first episode or a 2-hour first episode. Even like Survivor still does that. It's like the first night, let's get everyone in 2 hours. So yeah, all in all though, I am psyched to see where the season goes. I really like the actress for Wendy. I really like Timothy Olyphant as a scary android. And I'm excited to see where we go. So,
are you looking forward to the new Predator?
I don't even know when that comes. I have to see Prey first because I never saw Prey, and I'm excited.
I don't think you're going to have to know what happens in Prey to understand it.
And I saw the new Predator. He's carrying around a Weyland-Yutani droid or android or something. So that immediately interests me. Predator is a great concept, and I liked the Predators movie from 2010. I didn't like the one from 2018 or 19 where It was like the ragtag group of idiots, in a Predator. The whole thing was weird. But
Mhm.
in general, Predator is a phenomenal concept. So,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
excited
think
to see where it goes.
there's stuff that can be done with it that hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
Prey is good, so you should watch that before.
Prey, I've heard, yeah, I'll make a point to watch that. Maybe we could talk about it next time we're on.
I think it should have been a theatrical release, and it just ended up being a Hulu thing.
I think, unfortunately, but
Um,
it was swallowed up by the pandemic, right?
I don't even know if it was that because I think it was like not that long ago that it came out. I
I
think it
think
was just like they did not like believe in it.
Well, that's true. There was a period of time where they were releasing things that were fringe movie theater movies, and they were just
Hmm.
even movie theater movies were going straight to streaming. So a movie like Prey, they weren't going to go out of their way for it. Yeah.
But then now they're giving the person who made that like a theatrical movie and a
Mm.
bigger budget, and so it looks like I think it looks good. I like the idea of like the buddy cop thing between the synth that's missing its legs and the Yautja that's like
Well, we've never gotten to see the Predator or the Yautja or whatever as a protagonist, really, outside
Mhm.
of silently in Alien vs Predator for a few minutes here and there. So it'll be interesting to see. I like buddy cops when it's. I like buddy cops in general, but especially when it's something strange like that. That sounds really fun. So I'll
mm,
have to check it out.
I don't know. They'll be cops. It'll just be like an odd couple
They
kind
will be
of
solving
scenario.
murders, I think. So that's part of the problem.
Well, that would be a fun movie. Is
Yeah.
Alien and or Predator and Robot buddy cop?
Alien Loves
Oops.
Predator is one of the best web comics of all time. I'm very sad that it stopped,
I
but
haven't seen the.
it's just a classic comic. It's a comic strip where this guy had an alien figure, a predator figure, and they're roommates in New York.
Okay.
And it's like you should look it up because it's just hundreds of little like 2-second things, and you could just I don't know. I would recommend it, but it's very funny how Abe is the alien, and then I think the predator's I forget the predator's name, but they just get up into antics in New York City, and they're arguing with each other, and then the mom comes to visit. It's the queen. So it's a lot of funny shit.
So the thing with the Predator movies that bugs me, this is a stupid quibble, but like people treat it like the entire species, all they do is hunt things, right?
These are like
And-
the trophy hunter guys. These are like the rich guys that go out hunting.
Right.
on
So
the
this
weekend,
is
yeah.
like Don Jr. going over
Yeah.
to like shoot an elephant or something.
Yeah.
Like this is a rich dentist who's
Mhm.
going over to Earth to like bag a human head or something.
Yeah.
Like, but there's got to be like a whole society of people who do stuff other than
Like normal jobs.
yeah,
And then these guys
like
go off on the weekend
inventing
hunting.
spaceships and like inventing the weapons these guys use, and like they have those 4 like teeth things. They got to have like freaky dentists that
Yeah.
that have like
I like the idea that
4-sided drills and stuff.
I like the idea they're inventing all those weapons, but for other uses. Like the the disc one, you're actually supposed to use that to slice meats or something, and in the deli. I don't know, I just
Yeah.
something like
For
that.
ultimate death frisbee.
Their weapons were the best though. He'd just do something and it would go ching ching. It would grow and then he'd throw it and it would come back.
Uh-huh.
He has the laser gun on his or the whatever the hell it's called, the plasma caster on his shoulder.
Mhm.
That's one of the coolest weapons in all of sci-fi history.
I mean, so they do seem to have like rules they follow, like an honor system of some kind.
Yeah.
That someone like the stereotypical dentist going to Africa to shoot an elephant
Would not have.
wouldn't necessarily follow.
Yeah.
They
They
so like at
typically
the end of
they didn't seem to
Predator
just
2,
go after people. They seemed to go after people that were causing death to others and stuff. Like in Predator 2 in the city, he's killing gang members and stuff. He's not just killing random people.
Yeah, and at the end of the movie, like they kill the Predator, and as a like show of respect, they give him a trophy.
Yeah, they don't kill
Which
him
is
in
The
revenge.
flintlock from the 17th, which is like a sign they've been doing this for a long time or something.
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
also in the first movie, Billy, the Native American character played by Sonny Langham, or I forget his name. I think he realizes that they won't hurt people when they don't have weapons on them. Or maybe Arnold someone realizes that they're not hurting the girl because she's no threat. So to the predator, killing someone with no weapons on them or not capable of fighting on their own, it's not. There's no point in it. There's no honor in that. So,
Right.
so that's always been an interesting aspect. Like you said, they're not just typical dentists going out trophy hunting. Sorry,
Right.
dentists, if you're watching this episode.
I mean, it's not like a human with a machine gun is like that big a threat to a predator, like on their own. So the rule is kind of BS.
Kind of ambiguous, yeah.
Like if you have like a Swiss Army knife and versus a predator who has like a plasma caster or whatever, it's not an even fight. So the rule is just kind of like the kind of thing they would tell themselves to make themselves feel better.
Sure. Well, it also makes me wonder, did they pick that area of South America or wherever it was because it was a hotbed for military activity? Or did he just happen to land there? Because in the second movie, again, he lands in L.A., and it's shown that L.A. has basically become a war zone. So it's like the Predator's attracted to places where there's a lot of war activity. So interesting.
Yeah.
But we've talked about it an awful lot tonight. Jeez, this is supposed to be a quick little episode.
Yeah, it's almost my bedtime.
It's getting to be. I gotta get a little snack, and I'm gonna call it a night though. But yeah, Rufus, do you have anything else to say?
I would like to see the Alien franchise acknowledge the Predator franchise,
And then not just the other way around. Show that it's a little bit. Show that it's equal. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to have it be like a
mutual relationship. Yeah.
relationship and not a parasocial relationship between the franchises.
Let's see if they can work on that. I think this new movie, like you mentioned, is a first step, especially with the Weyland-Yutani droid. You know, Predator
Well, but
keeps.
that's a Predator movie.
They keep leaving these olive branches out. You know, you never know. But all right, thanks everyone for tuning in. That's Alex and Rufus. We talked about Alien Earth episodes 1 and 2, and we talked about some Predator. We talked about some everything, and we'll be back next week to talk about potentially Prey if I can watch it. If not, we're definitely going to talk about Alien Earth episode 3. We'll see what happened to. Let's call him Rooster. I don't know his name. The medic. Let's find out what happened to Rooster after he got knocked out of the window.
Baseball bro.
Baseball bro. Rooster the baseball bro. See if we can get that trending, everyone. All right. All right, everyone. For Rufus, this is Alex signing off. Have a good night. Take care.